to share a framework today that's going to save you a lot of time if you apply it properly. If that's your goal, to trade and travel or explore the world, or basically do something where you can use your freedom if you've been able to get through trading. Good morning guys, welcome back to Merida in Mexico. Got here last night, as you might have seen in the last video. Now I just did a quick test here on my computer for the Wi-Fi speed. It's pretty good, I'm pretty impressed, which is going to be very interesting. For a couple of next days I'll be here. So today I want to explore a little bit. But first, I want to take the time to answer a question I get a lot. And I think now is a good time to answer that question because I just got to a new country. So the question is, how are you able to trade and travel at the same time? So being a traveling trader. So it's kind of a 5-part framework that you can apply. Part number 1, you really have to define what's your goal, what's your reason, what you want to achieve exactly. A lot of people get into trading, especially me also, get into trading and they think that they can just trade and that's their goal, to be successful traders. But they forget that they have to focus on what they want exactly. Otherwise it's going to be really, really bad. And the result won't be exactly what they thought. So what happens if you trade and learn to become a good trader, but get to a point where you have to trade all day? Or get to a point where you're really good at trading, but then you cannot leave your room to go outside, right? That's not cool. So better figure out first exactly what you want to have, what is the ideal outcome, and then work on that. But keep in mind the reasons come first and the result comes second. That's really important. Now part number 2. I believe if you want to become a traveling trader, you gotta take what we call an empower approach in trading. And that's gonna come for your life as well. But let's just talk trading for now. What I mean by empower approach is a lot of people try to find the right system that's gonna make them a living. Or they wanna find this one strategy that's gonna be perfect. Instead of seeing this as finding the right strategy and trading that, see this as you being the manager, you being the guy behind the desk, managing things. And that means you won't get affected by the day-to-day, first of all, but also the fact that you will increase the strategies you trade over time. So you might start with one, it might be just an average one, and then you will work on creating another one. Okay, so your goal, your day-to-day activities, should not be based on trading. That's fine at first, you want to of course trade and stuff, but you don't want this to be the primary goal of your day, trading right. That's really good if you are a day trader, like you trade all day, you make a living from this, that's fine. But then you as a traveling trader, someone wanting to have freedom, you want to be spending most of your time on development, on working on your trading instead of in the trading. So instead of being there taking trades, you will work on becoming better, finding strategies, developing edge, connecting with traders. That should be the biggest part of your day. And this is the same for me now. I don't spend much time trading, although I still place the trades. But the bunch of my time is spent on a relationship, on testing stuff, on creating automations, so that I can become better and I can scale this up, scale this empower with different strategies perhaps in the future. And this is the same you should have in mind. Scaling up, having an empower, and then not caring about one strategy, but caring about the bunch of them, which you're going to manage, which one you put more capital on, which one you will put less capital on, and which ones you might have to scrap and just not use. Okay, that should be your goal and your responsibility as a traveling trader or a trader looking for freedom. Because that's kind of part 2. Now I'm gonna go about my day because someone's waiting for me for a tour of the city. The Airbnb hosts were kind enough to kind of offer me a tour of the city by car. So I'll check that out, it's gonna be pretty cool. I won't take this massive camera, I'll take my small camera, the GoPro. The next 3 parts will come later. And let's jump into the car.
All the way to downtown. It's about 9 blocks.
Okay.
Right there is the cathedral. This is all government buildings. I study French, but such a long ago that I forgot everything.
After the cool ride in car around the city, the guy dropped me to a restaurant, which I didn't know at the time. It's a pretty popular restaurant called Chaya Maya, and that place was really worth trying. And now let's get back outside in the rain. So I was kind of hoping for the rain to stop. Apparently it's still raining a little bit, which is like, can't complain too much, but it's not that cool. I was trying to find a grocery store, but I think I walked past that place a few minutes ago, so I'm gonna go back. And I want to see if I can buy some healthy food. I changed my mind about the grocery because of the fact that you have to leave your bag at the entrance, and I have like all my camera stuff inside, and I don't feel really safe about it sometimes, so I prefer not to leave my bag in a grocery in a case at the entry until I finish the grocery. It's not cool, so I'll try to go to Walmart and see if I can buy some things there. Okay, so I've been back. Quite an adventure today with the rain and stuff. So it's time to dive into the next 3 parts of being able to travel while you trade and reaching freedom in trading. Earlier we discussed finding your why, so your big goal, your vision, and then after that, building your empire. The third part has to do with setting processes, and I want to forget trading a little bit for a second. I want to talk about processes to be able to build your trading. So not to trade, we talk about it a lot here on the channel, but you have to have a step-by-step thing that you achieve on a weekly basis to reach your goals. And I see a lot of people not having that. They think that they can just work a little bit sometimes on trading when they feel like it or when they have some time. But if you get that, working on some things sometimes only give partial result. It's not going to get a big result. It's not going to get you to travel and trade. It might get you to trade, but you'll still struggle. So you cannot achieve big things until you have processes and things you do week by week to achieve your bigger goal. And that's what you should set out. So things like how many hours you will spend by week testing something or doing a piece of work that you have to do in your trading, and schedule this out and then make sure you achieve it. Not only will this build the habit in your trading to be process focused and consistent, it's going to build this in your personal life too. And the more you have that, the better your results are. It's only when I got to set exactly how many hours of backtesting I wanted to do every week that I got some results in trading. I got some stats and I got some data to be able to trade with. And it's only when I set an amount of trader I would reach out to per week that I got to make connections with traders and I got to meet people. And unless you do this, it's very hard to succeed. And then bring this back to now. It's only until I got to do 1 video per day and really being consistent in that I started to see results on my channel. There's no other way. And if you try to find a shortcut and work less or work only when you have time, you're not making it a priority. And guess what? It won't be one in the end. So you better start creating processes, no matter what that is. And the point here is that it doesn't take much time. It's not about like working hard and a lot of time. Although it's important to work if you have stuff to get done. But keep in mind that it's not about working tens of hours per day on your trading. It's more about having a step-by-step process and doing it all the time. and being consistent on that process you set out for yourself to achieve your goals. So I'll put a link below to an article I wrote about kind of how many hours you need to spend per week on your trading to work at becoming better. And I'll also put the time blocking guide, I think, for traders, which I wrote also a few months back. That's useful, how to set your time, how to manage your time and stuff. So that's going to be linked below. And that pretty much concludes part 3. Now part 4 has to do with managing your money really well. And we talked about that a lot before, but I just want you to get the principle of creating what we would call, and some people said that, a freedom account, where you put some money aside because at some point you might not want to trade. Who knows what happens in life? Who knows how you shift, how you perform, and how you learn and adapt, and what your experiences teach you. If you get to a point where you want to do something different, at least you have this account on the side that you've been building, and that is providing you money like without putting in too much work. And that is something that everyone should have, in my opinion. But few people do it, and that is where you doing that makes a big difference. So if you have no money saved right now, I recommend you start pretty soon if freedom is what you're looking for. And then if you need to learn how to invest this money also on the side, take some courses on that. I'm not the expert at that topic. I'm still learning myself at the same time. But you have to be able to do this in order to take your profit from trading and other things you have and putting them into this account to make it grow without you working for it, without you being at the chart and taking trades. That is what all financial freedom is about. So that is part number 4. Part number 5 now. I was listening to a video on the plane when I was coming here to Merida, Mexico. I'll put the link below, but the guy was saying that most people don't think big. They say they think big, and they might indeed think bigger than their friends. But in reality, do they really think big? Usually no. They're limited by their beliefs, they're limited by their past, their experiences, and what they've been through. And if you really want to achieve something big, you have to change your thinking, and you have to also keep thinking big. Because a lot of people get to a point where they make the money they want to make from their trading, and then they say, well, it's kind of fun, I'm happy, and then they party, they waste time, they don't work productively, and then they fall back, and then they cannot trade anymore, and then they have to restart again, and that's a whole fucking mess. So you better, quote unquote, fix your targets high, and then work on achieving them, and keep working even though you achieve them. Because if you stop working, and if you party and stop doing things, then it won't work. It's okay if you have your freedom account, which we talk about in part number 4 on the side, and if that makes you the money you need to live and you want to party all the time, it's fine, that's no problem. But if you still need to work, then you better not stop working. You better not just party and have fun all the time. You better be focused on what exactly you want to have and what you need to get there. And that is where thinking big comes into play. Some of this is kind of going back to part number 1, which is about the vision and the goal you have. That has to be big if you want to achieve something big. But you also need to keep going and keep seeing big things, as opposed to just having a goal, achieving it, and stopping to work. That's not how things work in life. Because those are like the 5 parts. And most of them, what I've seen in life and trading is that it's not about the tactics and the strategies you need to trade. It's more about the overall framework, the philosophy you have when you come into trading or life with. 2 people could trade the same strategies, but they're gonna have a different result based on how they feel, how they think, and how much work they put in. So I'm going to cover these parts, these 5 parts here, because they're useful. Comment below with your thought on what you think about this. If you have anything you think I missed out or should add, comment below as well. And if you have a favorite part you think you need to work on, comment below, and I'll in any case, you just comment below. And I'll catch you back here tomorrow in Merida, Mexico. Ciao.